And I kept thinking, the game's been so easy so far, and I'm a little underleveled. Why is that? I haven't gotten a million Pokemon on my team to, you know, lessen the experience I get. And I've been fighting every trainer along the way, which makes me think even more because of how rushed and how lackluster and much Sword and Shield just angers me and puts me to sleep. That Sword and Shield is the worst of it when it comes to balancing, because I don't know if anyone else had that problem, but you know, I think about the third and fourth gym, the game was, I was underleveled and I was struggling a bit because the game was terrible with the balancing, because there wasn't enough trainers in the routes, or there wasn't enough experience to go around just from playing through the game normally to get me enough for the next few gyms. And when I just gained maybe 1 or 2 levels by grinding on each of my Pokemon, I absolutely creamed the rest of the game. Nothing could even come close to touching me. So yeah, I'm guessing the game's just got terrible balancing. What? Someone's bashing Sword and Shield. Who would have thought in this day and age? No. I hate Sword and Shield. I feel worse about it than I do about Sonic Forces, if I'm honest. I'd much rather replay Sonic Forces than replay Sword or Shield. God. Anyway. Well, see, the reason I bring up the bad balancing curve is because it's never been a problem before, not since before Sun and Moon. Miltank in Gen 2 is a bit of a spike, but you can deal with it. It's a tough fight, but it's not an unfair fight. It's not a huge difficulty spike. You know, and nowadays I can deal with Miltank no problem, because I've much more experience at the game, and I can better deal with it. And maybe the same could be true for those parts in Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield. The thing is, I experienced the exact same roadblocks in Ultra Sun and Moon that I did in Sun and Moon, if not more. And just knowing with how low effort and rushed the games are now, leaves a terrible taste in my mouth. I think you can only find Glalie on these floors actually on the peak, which is strange, but sure. Also, Powder Snow hits everything on the floor. Ugh, that's not fun to deal with. But Glalie really isn't too bad, aside from Powder Snow, if you have a Grass type, because you would have thought Grass types are just not it's highly disadvantaged in this game. So this is one of those cases where water tiles are actually useful. You know, most of the time they're not at all, but here they are. I'll just take a swig of water really quickly. See, all of me just wants Pokemon to go back to sprites, and you know, it would look strange seeing as it's a main Nintendo franchise, one of the most popular in this day and age, still using sprites. But I don't, you know, make it look more like an indie game, but compared to, you think the Sword and Shield don't look like an indie game? God, they look terrible. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I don't care. I don't like Sword and Shield at all. But yeah, that's it. I would just like them to go back to sprites because they look so much nicer. You know, that's why Yoshi's Island still looks amazing. Because it looks so good, and I'm gonna be honest, Yoshi's New Island will look terrible. I don't even think it looks that great now, but it'll look absolutely god awful in a few years. Because of its 3D model, weird palettes art style. That's actually kind of similar to Mystery Dungeon Deluxe. But Woolly World and Crafted World, they'll look great for a long time, just because of their unique art styles. Granted, there are some games that have sort of breached that that look of age. You know, those strange-looking 3D games from close to 20 years ago. For example, I still think that you know, they could look better nowadays if they were made nowadays, but in fact that's the case with Kingdom Hearts. You know, the Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 still look great because the animation and the model quality still look great, and because it's inherently cartoony because it's Disney. And the art style and everything made in it reflects that. It still looks really nice nowadays. Why do you think they... I mean, other than because they were sticking to handhelds, why do you think they used the same PS2 era art style up until 2012 with Dream Drop Distance? You know? And it still looks pretty good. I can look at Kingdom Hearts 1 nowadays and go, wow, that still looks great. I feel the same way with Xenosaga 3 actually. Which doesn't... it has its own sort of unique art style. I think it looks better than Xenoblade 1, because Xenoblade 1 just looks a bit muddy. I still think it looks nice, but Xenosaga 3 just looks nicer. And of course Wind Waker will always look timeless, stuff like that. But what I'm trying to get at is you don't need a certain art style to look timeless. This game doesn't have a certain... well, it sort of has a certain art style, but it looks really nice because it's sprite-based. There they are. I've spotted Whitey. Alright, I see them. Uh-oh. Alakazam. It's about time we finally caught up to you. Your fugitive act dragged us all the way out here. Pipe down, Tyranitar. We can finally settle things here. I can barely contain myself. I'm itching for a fight. Henry, don't think badly of me. I don't know how to show mercy. Whitey, I didn't wish for this confusion. This too, why am I skipping through the dialogue so fast? We will crush you with every shred of our power. Get them! It's an epic clash here. Cease this at once. And there's Ninetales. Ninetales? What? Ninetales? That's Ninetales. The legend, it was real. Cease fighting at once, Alakazam. They are my guests. Tell us, Ninetales. Who was the human that appeared in your legend? No, even before that. Was the legend itself a true event? Depending on your reply, I may have no choice but to eliminate them. Whether they consider my curse to be a legend or not, I care not. However, it did happen. Many years ago I tried to lay a curse on a human. It was then, however, that the Gardevoir, the human's partner, dashed in. It selflessly bore the full brunt. Then the human did a selfish and cowardly thing. They abandoned Gardevoir and fled. The human eventually became a Pokemon. Transformed into a Pokemon, the human lives on. And that human would be... who is the human that you speak of? Whitey, you may relax. It's not you. So, thankfully, the terrible human isn't us. What? I really love this moment. Your partner is just like shaking with relief, you know. It's very emotional for them. I don't know, that line's kind of out of place. Oh wow, fantastic. I mean, Tyranitar seems pretty happy about it. I never noticed his diagonal sprite looks so goofy. I love it. However, that human becomes a Pokemon, and the world's balance are not linked. The cause of the calamities exists elsewhere. Hey you were wrong. You were wrong to hound and harass Whitey. we apologize. We're sorry. Got worked up by that Gengar. No, I suspected Gengar right from the start. Yeah, okay. Whitey just doesn't seem like the treacherous type. If only that were true. But I must say, you are to be commended for prevailing through this cruel journey and discovering the truth. Impressive. Excellent. I knew I was right. Huh? Oh, but wait. Then why did Whitey get turned into a Pokemon? I understand that Whitey isn't the human from that legend. Then how do you explain Whitey becoming a Pokemon? Who are you? The ground's heaving. Quake? The world's crust is shifting. The natural calamities are worsening. And the shifting of the ground. It will awaken the beast that embodies the ground. The beast that sleeps deep underground. Groudon will be awakened. What? Groudon is rising? Groudon? What is that? What's a Groudon? A legendary Pokemon that's only been spoken of in myths. It's a Pokemon that raised land masses and created continents. It is said to have taken to sleep after catastrophic battles with Kyogre. It must be stopped. We will go. We'll go too. No, you must remain behind. Groudon is far more powerful than any Pokemon you've ever faced. Leave it to us. That's how it goes. You go back to your rescue team base for a well-earned rest. We'll get the job done, and we'll be back before you know it. Fine, we're off to quell Groudon. And thus, Alakazam's team made their way underground to quell the awakened Groudon. Meanwhile, cleared of all suspicion, Whitey42's team put an end to their long and arduous journey, and returned to their welcoming rescue team base. Would you like to save? Yeah. Cool. Alright, so that's the end of the fugitive section. Meanwhile, back in Pokemon Square. Why aren't you out there hunting Whitey's team? That's easy for you to say. It's too much for us. They say Whitey's team has gone way far out there. If we went, the best we could hope for is maybe the Lapis Cave. I joined the chase, but they fled into Mount Blaze. For the life of me, I can't go in there. I'm a grass type, see? Fire doesn't agree with me at all. You could... That's just the tagline of the game. I'm a grass type, you see. What a spineless lot you are. You're so full of big talk. What about your team, Gengar? You just hang around in the square and don't do a thing. Walk the talk, you guys go. We're out of that picture. Our role is to receive word about Whitey's demise. Just appointed yourself that. Oh, finally. We're finally rid of Whitey. No. It's the opposite. He's back. What did you say? And Absol's here. Still. Over there. Whitey. They're back. Hi everyone, we're back. Finally made it back. We've been gone for so long. Feels kind of nostalgic to be back in Square, Whitey. Hey, Henry. Oh, it's you, Gengar. It's been a while. What's with that smug confidence? Maybe... Gengar, everything you said was completely wrong. Whitey had nothing to do with it. He was innocent. What? Is that true? Yep. We met Ninetales and asked. Whitey isn't the human from the legend. We're back because we discovered the truth. Wait a second. You can't be trusted yet. If you're gonna make that claim, let's see some proof. Proof? That's right, some hard evidence. Let's see some proof. Come on, out with it. Proof. We don't have any proof. It's too bad you don't have proof. Came back for us just so we could get rid of you easier. How conveniently foolish. Now, fellow Pokemon, here's your chance to get rid of him. What's wrong, everyone? Don't you want to be rid of him? I always believed in him. You don't fool me. I'm out. I was saved by YT's team before. I joined the chase with a heavy heart because of your urging. But I simply can't think of YT being bad in any way. I've heard enough too. I believe YT. Yeah, that's right. Who needs proof? Everyone. And here comes Pelipper. How often do you see those diagonal and forward shots of Pelipper? Sprites, I say. Looks like a newspaper, doesn't it? Okay, I'll read it aloud. Let's see. YT-42 innocent. YT met with Ninetales under the watchful eye of Alakazam, and proved that it had nothing to do with the human in legend. As a result, Gengar's claims were found to be false lies. End. You rotten. Alright, so that takes care of that. Finally. You know, only took running away and fearing for our lives. It's good to be back. We're back like we promised. I'm so glad. YT isn't suspected anymore. Yep, I'm glad too. We won't have to keep running from everyone anymore. We're both exhausted. I'm gonna get some sleep. The rescue team gets revived tomorrow. Let's try to do our best. Yeah, let's try that. Get ready for filler. Yeah, so goodbye Absol the next morning. We won't ever see Absol again, I'm honest. But yeah, anyway, that's really it for this recording session. Next recording session we begin the filler. It's filler time. Good morning YT, did you sleep well? Alright, we'll get right back into doing rescues. So yeah, next time is going to be filled with filler and a lot of montages, and it's not going to be the greatest thing to watch. So yeah, we best get ready for it, because it's not going to be great. It's my least favourite part of the game coming up, but it's not all bad, and I'll see you guys then.